Welcome to The Prize Inside. A chiropractor's journey in everyday holistic health and vitality. Here, your host, Dr. Jeremy Myers, delves into the remarkable journeys of everyday people who have embraced the path to health and healing. Through his practice, Dr. Jeremy encounters inspiring stories of profound transformation and the power of true healing within each of us. Stay tuned as we discuss various holistic topics and unlock the healing potential that lies within us all.
Hello, guys. Oh, let me fix my screen. There we go. Perfect. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the 1% Tribe. This is going to be awesome. Tonight is motivation night. So we're having a motivation Sunday. It's starting to get gorgeous out there. People are putting in their gardens, doing all kinds of cool stuff out there. Oh, I wanted to get my pictures on. I have some very neat things to show you guys as far as that goes. Let me look. I can give you so last year we did like an herbal, so we do our normal garden, right? And then this year we found out that what we're not doing is cucumbers that much because we had a plethora of cucumbers. And before we begin, Julie, thank you. Julie from on the Rumble. Remember, we have the Rumble channel. This is Julie. Like the topic. I'm excited about this. Motivation night, the quotes that I love. And these are just a few, right? So these are just to kind of get you kick started on a lot of cool things. But what I wanted to do, and this could motivate you a little bit. I took some pictures. And one way you can learn, like as we do this herbal stuff, I was a little disappointed at first. I was going to tell you guys about it a while ago. But the app seems to work in free mode pretty well. It's called Picture This, and it actually helps you. It'll identify a plant for you if you're not used to like seeing what that plant is. And so I used it. I wanted to see how accurate it would be on the herbs that I did that were kind of native herbs that have some medicinal properties in Michigan last year, and they actually wintered really well. The one that was crazy was the only one I wish I would have known more about was lemongrass. I had this awesome lemongrass and it smelled fantastic, but it doesn't go get through the harsh frost really well. So if you ever plant lemongrass, it really comes up nice. And you can use it for teas, a lot of cool things, right? So I'm trying to lead you down paths that you can, eat the beauty of the house that you have, right? Echinacea is a beautiful plant, but you can also utilize it. So, and they're all native, like tons of native stuff to this area. So the ones that I did this year we did horehound, which was good. It has a lot of cool medicinal properties that we'll get into sometime. It's called white horehound. That really did well. Common sage. Sage is always good. Anti-inflammatory. Think that way. Sage did really well. And then, of course, the lemongrass I told you about. Tarragon. Tarragon's another good medicinal herb. There is a ton of benefit to that, and we won't go into all of these, but these are ones that I planted, or I just basically found them in a native plant Michigan area, and I wanted to grab the ones that had some medicinal properties to them. So tarragon is one. Okay, we did common sage is another. Let me go back. I know I have some other ones. Lobelia is a really good medicinal type plant. So that one did good. Wild bergamot did good. Motherwort, pretty good as far as that thing took off. So that's really good. As far as that goes. Verbena, hoary verbena. A lot of the medicinals, you're not going to use these necessarily in like your because there's other ones that they use, right? But these still have medicinal properties to them. So I just wanted you to know all those. And that is it. Okay. So one day I'll have those as like pictures in my little like herbal garden that we have. there as well. But before we start our awesome quotes of the night, I want to do our little dig. Now, now remember, I'm going to put them in the stream. Just make sure. Man, sorry guys. I thought I had this, but we were working our tails off in the yard today. And it was great. All right. So I'm going to put some in the stream. This is our Rumble channel that I'd love you to join. That would be fantastic. And then if you're into podcasts where you get to listen to this, I'm on all the Apple, Spotify, all these. I'm just going to put the Apple one because then you can subscribe to that. We're up to like 3,000 people on the old podcast. So the only bad part is like when you're mixing a podcast with a video, you hope that you can describe it well enough so that they can see it visually with their, with their words. So a lot of times that is the tough thing. And my hope is I'm going to get some of these interviews lined up that I'd like to do as well. So with that said, let's go into some articles I found this week. All right. Let's look into, this one was kind of sad. There's a study that confirms, if you guys have heard these microplastics, microplastics are like prevalent throughout our world right now, just everywhere from dumps, water, in our drinking water systems, in our dirt, it's all over the place. But now there's a study that confirms that birds are breathing in these microplastics as well. And so that sucks. So that means we have to make sure our immune system and everything else. So what do we do in these kind of toxic situations? We have to do stuff to make sure that we are the best us we can possibly be. Because are you going to stop? We could fear porn it to death. We could say, okay, we're eating plastics all the time. But we can't stay in that bubble, like we have to be able to say, you know what, our immune system, the innate intelligence of our body is good enough to get through this stuff. So we're going to make it that way. All right. So that was kind of a sucky one. Let's look. Okay. So this one's a good one because I've had this conversation a lot this week, and then we'll get into but this one's low vitamin K intake is linked to a high risk of cognitive decline. And what they found is that low vitamin K actually can damage brain function and memory by reducing brain cell growth. Okay. So remember what vitamin K2 is, right? So vitamin K2 is important for your D. So it makes the bone get the calcium to go into the bone and not into your arteries. That's a big deal, right? One of the problems is I've seen it more and more. I'm kind of petrified of this, but people are finding that they have a ton of calcium in their system. It's causing things like vertigo. It's causing things like arterial sclerosis, which is the calcium buildup in the arteries. One of the things they found, though, is because we're so low on vitamin K2 and vitamin D that we're not absorbing, or that calcium that's in your body or in your blood isn't getting into the bone where you wanted it absorbed. So people are taking like a calcium supplement, let's say, to make sure their bones are strong, but it's not getting in. It's just making you dizzy, creating this vertigo situation, and then could add to like, arterial sclerosis, which is like the calcium buildup, or making your arteries like block up. So a lot of times that is vitamin K is huge, and now it's saying cognitive decline. Now that study kind of alluded to maybe with low vitamin vitamin K, we're making our arteries bad, like clogging those up with that arterial sclerosis. Sorry. And then let's say you have two arteries that go to your brain from your heart, right? You have these two carotids. What if the flow was impinged and that caused you not to have the brain health that you'd want it to have? So that's why vitamin K is a huge one to take. A lot of people miss that one, but we're getting better and better at that. So remember, vitamin D, K2 together, maybe some K, right? So they're about the same thing. I think relatively, if you got the K2 in you, you're going to be just fine. Remember magnesium, right? So these are three majors, and then calcium can be in there, right? We're just right now we do this calcium, think it's all good, and then we have this other stuff we want. That's why I always recommend a big multivitamin when we do stuff like that. Okay. So let's go to the other. Let's see if there's any other ones I want to bring up. Remember, we go through these articles on Wednesday night. That's another one. That's Whole Health Weekly. I try to find the coolest trending things in health that night, and sometimes you got to give me a break because of kid stuff. It's either at 6:30 or at 8:30. I'm starting to aim for 8:30. I think that's better. Two things happen. If I do that at 8:30, I'm not going to sit on the couch and I'm doing it as a 1% tribe habit. I won't eat as much like little snacky things, those kind of things. So why not just do it then when you won't be wanting to do that after you're done? Okay. So that's how I do things. All right. And that will be it for that stuff. So just remember, we kind of go through, all those different articles on the Whole Health Weekly as well. So with that said, I'm going to throw some at you and let's talk and get the chat going. Cause if you want, give thumbs up, hearts, comments on there. You can comment anywhere, Facebook, YouTube. I'm getting some YouTube people, which is awesome. So YouTube, I should put that one in there. YouTube, X or Rumble. You can put it anywhere and I will see your comment. It might be a little delayed, but I'd love to have those in these different quotes. Okay. The beginning of the day, the beginning of these quotes are ones that are, very good and powerful, but I get into some of my favorites in the chiropractic aspect too. So here we go. All right. This one's by Aristotle. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Okay. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. But a habit. Man, gardening whooped me today, guys. I'm just saying. Gardening whooped me today. And I've been working on this cool program I cannot wait to tell you guys about. Julie knows it. We're doing this anti-inflammatory class. I am so excited about it. It's going to be a day-long class, but I wanted another program to kind of go with that class. So I'm pretty pumped about that. So let's talk about this. So we are what we repeatedly do. Okay. What does that sound like? Aristotle was before what they call epigenetics, right? If you guys have been with me in the 1% tribe, we've talked about epigenetics. We aren't even controlled by our genes. We're controlled by those programs that run. Another word for the programs, the habits. The habits that we learn in the very early life, with our parents and everything else, that leads to the life choices, habits, and those kind of things later. It's just a program, however. It's not genetic code, right? It's a choice in that genetic code. We all have those. So let me explain epigenetics really quick as best I can. My favorite way to explain this is pretend as instead of a baby, think of us delivering a computer. Okay. So we go to Best Buy, husband and wife go to Best Buy and they get a new computer. Okay. So that new computer, when you turn it on, it has to have innate intelligence, and God decided that it needs to have some kind of programs, right, already inherently in it to run it when you turn it on. Because it would be such a shame if you had to program that whole computer you just got from Best Buy from scratch, right? You wouldn't want to do that. So you have these innate inherent programs that run. Once that computer is turned on and everything's running, you'll have certain choices. Let's say on this computer, you need to write a document. So you're going to turn on, let's say, Microsoft Word. On that, you start using Microsoft Word right from the beginning, day one of the computer being on. Now, as the years go on, 5, 10, 15 years down the road, all of a sudden you want to change programs from Microsoft Word to Google Docs. What do? You change. You start using Google Docs more. You start understanding that it's going to be tough. It has different features. It has all these things. It takes forever. You're mad at it because it's not the same as your old Microsoft Word. You can't find things where you thought they were before, right? All of these things, it's a doable pattern, but is it easy? No. And that's what's so neat about epigenetics. Epigenetics is the study of genetics and literally changing the genetic code. Sorry about that. I don't know. I'll be right back. I will be right back. I apologize for the dogs barking in the background. There is no actual reason for them to be doing that. Pause. Okay, sorry about that, guys. That was wild. You might hear them barking in the background. They're hearing phantom things. The Allie went back to college today, so they constantly are looking out the window going, where is she? Where is she? Anyway, so epigenetics is a situation where we can literally change your genes. So we just got to remember that it's when we start changing our habits, we are doing that. We're changing those genetics. Okay. So with me being completely off track now, let's continue on to the next one. This one, I like it. This one's my favorite. And if this doesn't get you totally motivated for this week, coming up, baby, I don't know what else is. The best way to predict the future is to create it. Create those visions, people. Create the visions, man. Nothing stops those visions. Hard work. That's it, right? We have to create these visions in our mindset that bring us to a different state. Remember, we've gone through this one too, the art of visualization. We'll hit all these in 1% Tribe as we go again, obviously. But the art of visualization, there's a guy named Mike Dooley. I love giving him creds. Note, and he calls it, his name's Mike Dooley, Notes from the Universe. If you ever want to see a really cool program that can help you with visualization, Mike Dooley's program is the one, because this guy leads you down those paths. The visualization is something that we inherently forget about in our bodies. It's almost like a sixth sense. And it's an energy journey, right? It's an energy journey. And so this quote, the best way to predict the future is to create it, is how things get done, right? Don't let life happen to you. Like, use that life to go on and create it for yourself. Okay. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this. It's a little lighter than my fire hose herbals sometimes, right? Oh, and don't forget, like, a lot of times that knee one was really good. So just remember last week's the knee one, it was fantastic. So it gave you some good hints on like how to improve knee function. So just don't forget about those. All right, so now we're on to the next. I like this one from Winston Churchill. Success is walking from failure to failure with no loss in enthusiasm. Despite setbacks, right? Despite setbacks in all things, you're over it and you move on because the success is fantastic. I can give you a story on this. When I first started in chiropractic, one of the things that I wanted to do with my own self-improvement was to find what I would call it on all of us, a side hustle, something outside of your normal day to day that you really become passionate about. And it can be something that it doesn't have to make money or anything. It just has to be something you're passionate about and willing to put time into. Mine happened to be inventions or inventing. And so one of the coolest things is, so I started diving in. We started diving in hardcore in just understanding, learning, reading a ton of books on just all kinds of inventions, the history of inventing, the different processes to inventing. And the reason I did that was because that way I could keep working on that habit. And the neatest thing about inventions was I had to fail a lot. So one of the parts that is crazy, that is difficult in inventions, is you get to hear no a lot. Okay. So I'm going to show you one of my pride and joys. I've got one maybe in the works right now. All right. This is called, all right, let me pull it up so you guys see it. Okay. Let me get back in here. So I'm going to screen share one of my pride and joys because of it finally gave me that success. Here, my friends, is called the Tunnel Tamer. If you look up the Tunnel Tamer on Amazon, and if you want it, this is a 2-pack. You can get it. It is a carpal tunnel. It's kind of like a carpal tunnel brace or a wrist brace that kind of prevents you from getting to the time of of carpal tunnel issues, but you can actually wear it. The beauty of it, you can get it a 1-pack or a 2-pack. Very good expense. So here's the other thing. If you get this, you will love it. So remember, like get on there and order it. We had, how this works is like, so there's the Tunnel Tamer. There's a shameless plug. But what it is I invented it, and I was with a company, and it was prior to COVID. And so we got this thing, and we were on the market for a pretty good, of almost a year. And then COVID happened, and then that company kind of started wanting to contract in size. And so what happened was I made enough money on it to, pay for the patent aspect. And then we just found a new home for it with Vive Health. They were fantastic to work with, and we're getting it rolling again. So if you get on there, try it. It works really, really good. The problem is most people think I want it for prevention so that you don't actually get to carpal tunnel issues, right? And so a lot of people don't look that's one thing I didn't think about. People don't look for, the people aren't 1% tribers most of the time, right? They're not looking for preventatives prior to something happening. It's already happened. And so they're trying to look for something, that kind of thing. So if you get on there, give me a good, give a few good reviews. We started out kind of, the instructions on that were pretty rough. Accidentally, they accidentally printed it like really, really small. So then it messed it all up. So we got, how Amazon is, you get hammered like right away. So as it keeps improving, we're hoping to keep increasing those stars so it'll take off. But I'm having a blast with it. It's I can say I'm a successful inventor, as it goes, and I keep going. But the reason that is so important is you have to call, like in inventions, you have to call like 50 people. And out of the 50, one has to say yes. So that means I have to hear no 49 times. My wife, Rachel, she always is like, how do you do that? Because I'm very consistently making people say no to me. If they do not want to do it, I keep calling, try to get a response. And if they say, no, we're not available, okay, we move on. It's something so magical about being able to fight through the no that I'm kind of addicted to it, and so I actually think I'm better at the calling aspect than I am, which you guys probably figured out because I can talk all the time. But getting all the finer details of like the prototyping and the selling and those kind of things. So as I'm improving in this invention hobby, I just love it. So find your way to fail all the time. That's how the successes happen, right? So anyway, so that was a good one. All right. So remember that one. Success is walking from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm. That's when you win. That's when you win. Don't compare yourself to others. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday. Ooh, Jordan Peterson. Focus on that personal growth versus competitive growth. This is very difficult to do, but it is the way. 1% tribe, it is the way. How were you yesterday, right? Then how are you today? The improvement should be, just mind-boggling. How are you feeling today versus yesterday? Can really change your life. It absolutely can change your life. As people go through different, things like getting healthier again, getting all of these things, you just notice it. One that I hear a lot about is, we were talking about it a lot in the office, people that have pop addiction. So like Coke, Diet Coke, whatever. And let's say they decide, hey, I'm not going to do that habit anymore. Let's say they're doing 4 to 6 pops a day, cans of pop a day. That's not unheard of. That's not unusual. I see it all the time. Once somebody does that, though, and they say, I'm going to go cold turkey, and they get rid of it 3 months, each day they're improving to the point that I had one guy go, man, I tried to drink a Coke the other day after I haven't had it for 3 months, and I got sick. And that's exactly what can happen. You can see what it does, right? It's fascinating. So that was a good one. I like it. Don't compare. I'll read it again. Don't compare yourself to others. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday. I love this one too. This is what 1% Tribe on a Sunday night's all about, ladies and gerbs. The secret to getting ahead is getting started. Mark Twain. That is amazing. That's what I've been working on, this project. It's 26-week program for a really long time now. It's going to be so amazing, but you have to keep going. You have to get started. That project you wanted to do it. If you fail, do it again, right? That's the beauty of this stuff. The secret to getting ahead is getting started every single time. Hopefully you like these. Oh, this one we got to talk about a little bit. So this is one of my favorites. It doesn't have a quote to it, but your health is actually an investment and it's not an expense. That has a lot of words and a lot of power there. Your health, what I'm trying to do with these 1% tribes is to make it that your health is something you're investing in versus paying the bill. So sometimes the time is the bill is due, right? And that is the way we handle sick care model currently. We handle it like ignore. Now we have to pay the price. The problem is we can convert that brain of ours to understanding that our health is this investment. So every time you invest in yourself a little bit each day, you drink more water. That's an investment. You exercise for 8 minutes. That's an investment. You do things a little different every day to lead to this healthier. You think better thoughts. You think more positive thoughts. You're going to invest in yourself each and every day. I have a patient that just blew my mind this week. Oh my gosh. I'm going to tell you this story. I don't know how she's doing it. To be honest with you, her health is, like it's as if God brought us together just so that we could have these conversations. So she had moved up here from a different state just recently. And so when she came up here, everything was going well. And then her husband passes away. So she decides, like she's already gone through a ton of stuff. And then she had one of her kids die. And she's an older lady, so she has adult kids. And so one of her kids dies of a major issue, basically at the time that she was trying to figure out, stuff for her husband. Both parents die in the same month. And then somebody steals her wallet. And all I can think of every time, I almost get emotional because her strength, just looking at her in this moment was so amazing to watch, because it was one of those things you don't see it every day. You see enough on, somebody hurting or somebody passing away. It's tough enough, but to have all this stuff in like a month, to not like have her fold over, and for me and her to have these hilarious conversations after the fact, after we go, she's like, just God, throw something else at me. It's fine. We might as well do it now. Get it all done in one. So we were laughing, and she's such an inspiration to me, just watching her, these trials and tribulations of getting through all this stuff. And it's one of those that once you see these things and watch the power of what people can get through, just absolutely what people can get through. It blows my mind half the time in, what ordeals people and challenges people have, that they go through and make it out the other end. But it's all those people that know that they can invest in themselves. So this comes to such a big deal. These small words: your health is an investment. It is not an expense. And the problem is like we take this ultimate opportunity to improve our health cellularly. We can improve our cells every day, but we don't do that. And we wait until they're now a negative in our life. We have to change that paradigm. Okay. So that was a soapboxy one. Hopefully you guys are having fun with this. I love doing motivational stuff. Hopefully we're getting motivated. Okay. So now we get to talk about my favorite quotes of all time. All my chiropractic ones. Okay. There is so many chiropractic ones. I couldn't put them all on, but one of our favorite guys, his name was Dr. Reggie Gold. He was fantastic. He great speaker. My God, you'd go once a week for the rest of your life. If you saw Dr. Reggie Gold speak, you wouldn't even bat an eye. That's how good this guy was at speaking. One day, maybe I will get there where you're just like, man, Jeremy, so good. I just have to go. Right. So anyway, so chiropractic deals. This is the quote. Chiropractic deals with all things that your body has to do: how you perform, how you drive, how you make a salad, how fast you can read, and how well you can remember things. Reggie Gold. Okay. So when you think of chiropractic care, you always think of back pain, headaches, but listen to what it actually does. It enhances overall life performance. It's not just about the physical health. It never has been. And it contributes to a longer, more vibrant life. Think about that. When your nervous system, when your brain and nervous system are working together, communicating, your immune system's firing well, everything, even making a salad's easier. Isn't that crazy? Even driving a car is easier. So everything in performance is good, is better. That's why I'm amazed at kids that do regular chiropractic, not because they're hurting, but because their parents thought it's an important thing, right? So we check their spine, we do the thing. And the amazing part is how their parents talk about their athletic performance. A lot of times I'll see it. like we'll get to go to some of these things, but they spectacular athletic performance, not very many injuries happening, and mostly it's because their body is doing the work. There's nothing interfering with the communications between all their cells of their body because their innate intelligence is able to express through that inherent wisdom of our body, right? And the way it can do that is making sure that the entire spine and nervous system are doing what they're supposed to do. All right. Soapboxy time. You guys deserve it. There's 4 of you watching. Give me thumbs up if you like it. Hopefully a little heart here and there. That would be good. It keeps us posted up. Hopefully you're liking these different quotes though, but I am. So there. Ooh, this one I love. The most damaging lie is that freedom of symptoms is health. Biggest lie there is. Symptoms have nothing to do with health. They don't. You can have, if you hurt your knee because you fell on the cement, are you an unhealthy person because that knee hurts? No. Here's a good example that all of us chiropractors, I like using. Me and my buddy, we go to the same restaurant. So we go to this restaurant and we both get the same food. Okay. John is my buddy's name. Okay. So John and Jeremy, we eat the exact same meal. Everything's the same. But in that meal, there was like food poisoning. Something was bad, but it was in both meals. John looks at me and says, I don't feel well, and vomits the bad food up and doesn't feel very good for the rest of the night. Jeremy says, I don't know what you're talking about, and has no issues. And so, but there was food poisoning present in both meals. Who is healthier? My hope is you're going to say John, the guy that puked up all the stuff. Oh, man. My dogs are going a little nuts again. I don't know what this is. It's fascinating. But we're going to let him go. Okay, where's going to be it? She'll chill in a minute. Sorry, guys. So anyway, we'll fight through the dog noises. But that is something to look at when you're looking at this quote. The most damaging lie is that freedom of symptoms means health. I'll be right back, guys. All right. So remember that one. The most damaging lie is that freedom of symptoms means health. I have the toughest dogs ever. They never want to go outside. They always hide behind me if there's actually, they want to bark at somebody. It's hilarious. So if you ever come, watch out for my guard dogs. All right, here we go. Here's another Reggie Gold classic. Disease is the hole that is left when the health is taken away. So dis-ease is the hole that is left when health is taken away. That was pretty good. I like that one. Right? So really, it's absence of health. There is no such thing as a dis-ease. The disease is that the health wasn't there. The innate intelligence wasn't able to produce what it needs to. The health of the human body, some kind of communication wasn't there. And so that's what causes the disease, okay? Or dis-ease, as we like to call it. So I thought that was a pretty good one. And then, all right, this one's from Heidi Havoc. Okay, so let me explain her real quick. Dr. Heidi Havoc. I've done a few of her videos. She's a neuroscientist that actually turned chiropractor once she discovered chiropractic. She's wrote the few books. The Reality Check was one. She's the one that actually has done a ton of studying for us chiropractors in brain activity, the stimulation of brain activity through getting just any kind of chiropractic adjustment has been off the charts. We knew that kind of going in as chiropractors, but to see it in real time has woken up our mind. So not only when we adjust your spine, you can feel a difference. You can feel there's like a self-aware difference. I hear it every day. Why does I feel so different? I feel like I go, yes, your brain is like re-feeling where the postures are, because like a lot of times you'll be bent over one way and you don't know it for years. And all of a sudden we adjust you and your brain now goes, holy smokes, I'm in a new spinal pattern. This is amazing. Right. And so that's one of the things. And Heidi Havoc she's like my Fanny nerd. I'm hoping one day I might get her to like do an interview with me. I got it. My 37 subscribers might not get her there, but she might. And that would get me up way higher than 37, if you know what I mean. So anyway, here is the quote. Chiropractic care is about optimizing the communication between your brain and body, allowing you to function at your best and live a healthier life. That was pretty good. That one's an easy quote. You've heard me say that kind of thing before. But this is the one I want you to understand. The spine is the gateway to your nervous system, and keeping it aligned can unlock your body's innate ability to heal and thrive. Oh, that's so powerful. So powerful. Really, you don't need me to explain any part of that. The spine is the gateway to your nervous system, and keeping it aligned can unlock your body's innate ability to heal and thrive, which we see every single day. And here's one last one from Heidi. I think this is the last one. There might be one more. Let me look. Yep, there's another one. Health isn't just about feeling good today. Oh, I love this one. Health isn't about just feeling good today. It's about building resilience in your nervous system for a vibrant future. Okay. So health overall is it's not how you're feeling today. It's about how you're going to feel for that future. Any of those investments, those little health investments you do along the way, lead you to that better future. And that is all that's what it's all about, right? It's all what it's all about. All right. Oh, yes. Then that was my final one. Okay. Sweet. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you did, give me a thumbs up, a heart, a like. I know this was a little lighter than I usually do. If you've been with me before, usually we go into some good herbals, some movement patterns. I think next week's going to be an herbal one on Sunday night. So be ready to watch that. Don't forget to subscribe to the Rumble channel, because then you can watch some of the old ones. Not sure what I'm going to do. I always look and try to get you guys the best stuff just for your knowledge base on the herbal actions and processes out there. So hopefully you enjoyed it tonight. I really appreciate you guys, the ones that tune in. It's so awesome. And I'm starting to see that we get some good recordings too. So we're getting some great views. But I don't ever plan on stopping this. This is way too fun regardless. But if you see me around, ask me for a topic and I'll try to put it into, like what we could talk about on a 1% tribe. And I'm working on a couple interviews still. They're a little harder to wrangle than I would have dreamed, but that's how it works. So anyway, you guys have a great night. Remember these quotes and just do it, man. Just do it. All right. Have a good one.